Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Luke and here on this channel I talk about fragrance, perfume, scent, focusing on designer, vintage and affordable fragrances. If that's something you're interested in, well, please consider subscribing. Give this video a like and leave me a comment down below. I always reply to comments and I love chatting with you in the comments. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new Miss Dior that came out in 2024. It's called Miss Dior Parfum and it's an amber floral fragrance. And before I get into the notes and start telling you about the performance and everything, let me tell you that this fragrance is something that I really enjoy. And I know Dior has a bad reputation because of all the reformulations and re-releases and discontinuations. But as a fan of Miss Dior Chérie, the original from 2005, and the other versions of Miss Dior, namely the 2017 one, the 2011 one, as someone who really enjoys that line of fragrances, I always try their new releases. I also like the 2021 version, which is a bit more vanillic, sweet, floral. It's not really a Miss Dior fragrance, even though the DNA is there. But let's talk about this one, the 2024. When this one came out, everyone thought it was going to be a re-release of Miss Dior Chérie because they saw strawberry in the notes, they saw patchouli in the notes, and they immediately thought, well, this is Miss Dior Chérie. Well, let me tell you something, it's not. But it does have something that reminds me of Miss Dior Chérie. So if you enjoy patchouli, strawberry, and if you just enjoy fruity patchouli fragrances, this one is a must try. It was created by Francis Kurdejan, which is the new in-house perfumer for Dior. And it is said, allegedly, that he wanted to pay tribute to Miss Dior Chérie. And that's why he used some of the same notes. And some people would go as far as to say that he revived it and brought back the original Miss Dior Chérie because, it had so many fans. And I don't really agree with that, Miss Dior Chérie was discontinued over 10 years ago and we've moved on. We still love it, but we've moved on. I used up a bottle of Miss Dior Chérie. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. But this one is also beautiful in its own right. So let's talk about the 2024 version. It's classified as an amber floral. Even though it's a fruity patchouli fragrance, a fruity floral patchouli, this is very heavy on the amber, on the patchouli, and it's got a very heavy base. It opens very sweet, even syrupy sweet, and it's got that typical designer sweetness that you can find in designer fragrances. It's fruity. It's got strawberry, mandarin, and some nondescript fruits. So if you don't like sweet and fruity, well, avoid this one. However, the opening can be deceiving because as soon as those fruits go away, well, they don't really go away. They just become softer. As soon as the fruits kind of go softer, the base kicks in and the amber and the patchouli kick in. And this becomes a really heavy ambery scent with some fruitiness still, but the fruitiness never really goes away completely. But the dry down is just magical. It's rich, it's deep, it's earthy, very woody, and almost kind of vintage smelling in my opinion. It does remind me of vintage Chypre style fragrances in the deep dry down after 5 to 6 hours, I would say. And to me, the dry down is all about the patchouli, and this is not really a dirty patchouli, but it's a beautiful scent. The patchouli is really nice. It's earthy, and it really reminds me of the patchouli in Miss Dior Chérie. Even though this doesn't smell like Miss Dior Chérie, it's definitely not a dupe, but the overall vibe reminds me of Miss Dior Chérie, and I think this is the closest any of the new releases from the Miss Dior line have come to Miss Dior Chérie. Just my opinion, but it's still not even like a 20% dupe in my opinion, so I wouldn't call it a dupe. But the patchouli in the base is really heavy, and if you dislike patchouli fragrances, avoid this one. Actually, I've been wearing it for about 6 hours. Let me smell it. Yeah, the base is just very, very strong. The fruitiness is barely there, but the patchouli and the amber in the base are very strong. And even though this has amberwood listed as a note, I actually don't really like amberwood, but it doesn't really bother me in this fragrance because it's not synthetic smelling, and this is a well-crafted fragrance. To me, it smells expensive. It smells grown up. Well, it might smell a bit juvenile when you spray it on. That strawberry is very sweet and fruity and syrupy sweet. But as soon as this dries down, this becomes a very kind of mature scent, in my opinion. And to me, this just feels like a very well-crafted, well-blended, good quality fragrance from Dior. And I'm really happy about that. The first time I tried this from a sample, the sillage and the longevity were kind of disappointing. But as soon as I got my bottle and as soon as I went to the store and sprayed it all over myself, the performance improved. And the sillage is moderate, but I can smell it on myself. But the longevity is really good. I can smell this on myself all day long. 10 hours later, I could still smell it on my skin. And I was really happy about that because this fragrance is not cheap. And if something is this expensive, I want it to last, I want it to perform. If it doesn't, I'm returning it. I'm just like that. I don't like to be scammed. I don't like if someone tries to take me for a ride. Even if it's a perfume brand, perfume is luxury. And I expect good performance for the price I pay. And I'm really happy about this fragrance. I'm so glad I picked up this bottle because I only have one other Miss Dior fragrance in my collection. I used up all the other ones, so I didn't really have a Miss Dior. I only have the 2021 version, which is more of a powdery vanilla take on Miss Dior. Unlike most people on YouTube who say that it doesn't really last, I really like the 2021 version, but this one is so much better in my opinion. The strawberry note, the wild strawberry note, and the patchouli are just addictive in my opinion. Even though this is called Miss Dior Parfum, which implies that it's a perfume concentration, a pure perfume, an extrait de parfum, this is not an extrait de parfum in my opinion. This behaves more like an eau de parfum. So I don't know why they're calling it parfum, but to me, it doesn't perform like a parfum. Pure parfum is something that's very close to the skin, but very strong, very potent, and very long-lasting. You only need a few dabs. But Miss Dior 2024 behaves more like an eau de parfum because you can overspray it without a problem. I don't overspray it because I don't overspray anymore. I only do about 10 to 15 sprays on a good day and about 5 to 10 if I'm not feeling too well. So this one definitely performs like an eau de parfum. And another thing that I wanted to mention, this has no rose. Where is the rose? Miss Dior is all about the rose. This has no rose. Where has the rose gone? So I feel like they really tried to do something drastic, to change something drastically with this fragrance. Even Miss Dior Chérie, the original, had a very prominent rose note, despite the strawberry and the patchouli and the gourmand accords. But this one, I think it has rose listed. I'm not sure. It has jasmine listed, but I can't smell any florals in this fragrance. So this is definitely not a floral. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love that it's a wild strawberry / patchouli fragrance. I think it's gorgeous. It's addictive. But I find it really interesting that they removed the florals, basically, that they removed the rose. Because Miss Dior and Miss Dior as a person and the marketing behind Miss Dior was all about the roses from Grasse and Natalie Portman surrounded by rose fields. And it has always been a romantic fragrance that was all about the rose. The 2017 version had I think, about 3 or 4 types of roses. And even the 2012 and the 2011 all had a prominent rose note. And many of these flankers, probably not all of them, but many of them were advertised as containing the veal rose essence, the May rose essence from Dior's private rose plantations in Grasse in France. I have to say, I really liked the bottle. I really liked the bow. This bow is supposed to be a piece of Dior haute couture. So you get a piece of Dior's legacy with this bottle. And the houndstooth design on the bottom of the bottle and on the sides is also one of their signature designs they've been using since, well, the 1940s probably. So that was just a short historic intermezzo. So definitely give this one a chance, give it a try. Don't dismiss it just because you don't like the fact that Dior reformulates their fragrances all the time. And I'm not a fan of that. But I love discovering new fragrances that I end up loving, and this is one of them. So definitely check out the new Miss Dior. If you already own it or if you have tried it, please let me know in the comments and let's chat in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. This is going to be a very short video. I just wanted to share my unfiltered thoughts on Miss Dior, the new Miss Dior Parfum. Thanks for watching. Bye.